Genesis 1 presents the grand narrative of the cosmos's creation, providing a profound theological foundation for understanding God's nature, purpose, and relationship with creation. This chapter showcases God's orderly, purposeful, and transformative act of bringing the universe into existence. Genesis 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. This verse is the gateway to all of Scripture, emphasizing the foundational truth of God's sovereignty and creative power. It introduces the concept of time and existence from a divine perspective. The beginning signifies the starting point of time, space, and matter, which all had their origins in God. Ellen G. White writes, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." Steps to Christ, page 68. What does it mean for us that God created everything? It means that everything we see and experience is a testament to his power and purpose. Can we truly comprehend the magnitude of a God who creates from nothing? Genesis 1 verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. This verse describes the pre-creation state of the earth, formless and empty, covered by darkness. The deep signifies the primeval ocean, a symbol of chaos and disorder. The Spirit of God moving over the waters suggests the beginning of divine intervention and transformation. SDA scholar Dr. Richard Davidson observes, "The Spirit's presence brings order and life from chaos. In our lives, when we face confusion and disorder, it is the Spirit's presence that can bring clarity and renewal." How does this truth apply to our personal lives? In moments of chaos and uncertainty, can we trust that the Spirit is actively working to bring order and transformation? Yes, we can. Genesis 1 verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God's first act of creation through his spoken word demonstrates the power and authority of his command. Light represents not just physical illumination, but also spiritual enlightenment and the beginning of order. Ellen G. White remarks, "God is light, and in him is no darkness at all." The Desire of Ages, page 257. What does it mean for us that light began with God's command? It signifies that God brings clarity and purpose into the darkest parts of our lives. Can we let his light guide us in our own moments of darkness? Genesis 1 verse 4. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. This verse underscores the divine approval of creation. Good here implies that what God created was perfect and purposeful. Separating light from darkness symbolizes the establishment of order and boundaries. SDA theologian Dr. John Pauling explains, "The act of separating light from darkness represents God's work in our lives to distinguish between good and evil, guiding us toward righteousness." How does God's separation of light from darkness reflect his desire to bring clarity and direction into our lives? God's separation of light from darkness reflects his desire to provide clarity and direction by distinguishing between what is true and what is obscure. This act demonstrates his intention to guide us through the uncertainties and challenges of life with illumination and purpose. Genesis 1 verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. God naming the light day and the darkness night illustrates his authority over creation. The establishment of a cycle of evening and morning defines the first day, setting a pattern for the rest of creation. Ellen G. White writes, "The same voice which called the light into existence still speaks to us today, calling us out of darkness into his marvelous light." The Adventist Home, page 32. What does it mean that each day begins and ends with God's order? It means that our daily lives are framed by divine structure and purpose. Can we find peace in knowing that God governs each day of our lives? Genesis 1 verse 6 to 8. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. The creation of the firmament, or sky, signifies the separation of the waters above, clouds, from the waters below, oceans and seas. This division brings further order to the cosmos and introduces the concept of heaven. Dr. Barbara Rossing notes, "The firmament reflects God's intention to bring structure and stability to what was once chaotic." How does this act of separating waters reflect God's desire to bring order and structure to our lives? Can we trust Him to bring stability and clarity to our personal chaos? Just as He brought structure to the natural world, we can trust Him to bring stability and clarity to our personal chaos. His intervention transforms confusion into order, offering us a sense of direction and purpose amidst life's uncertainties. Genesis 1 verse 9 to 10. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called He seas. And God saw that it was good." God gathers the waters, revealing dry land, which He names earth, and the gathered waters, which He names seas. This act marks the beginning of the earth's topography and emphasizes the completion of the physical environment necessary for life. SDA author George R. Knight observes, "The creation of land and seas sets the stage for life." It reminds us that God has a purpose for every part of creation, including our own lives. Genesis 1 verse 11 to 13. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself, upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, an herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself, after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. God commands the earth to produce vegetation, plants and trees that bear fruit and seeds. This act brings forth the beauty and functionality of the natural world, establishing a cycle of growth and reproduction. Ellen G. White writes, "The earth, in its perfection and beauty, was a fitting place for the abode of the holy pair." Patriarchs and Prophets, page 50. How does the creation of vegetation demonstrate God's provision for life? Can we see the beauty and utility of nature as a reminder of His care and provision for us? The creation of vegetation demonstrates God's provision for life by providing essential resources such as food, shelter, and oxygen, which are fundamental for survival. The variety and abundance of plants highlight His care and foresight. Observing the beauty and utility of nature can remind us of His ongoing provision and attentiveness to our needs, reflecting His deep care and generosity in sustaining life. Genesis 1 verse 14 to 19. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. God creates the sun, moon, and stars to mark time and seasons and to provide light. This organization of celestial bodies further structures the natural world and governs the rhythms of life. SDA scholar Dr. John Pauline notes, "The celestial bodies are not merely decorative. They serve as markers for time and seasons, reflecting God's meticulous planning and order." The sun, moon, and stars reflect God's provision and order by maintaining the cycles and patterns that sustain life on earth, such as regulating seasons and time. Their precise and reliable movements demonstrate His meticulous management of the cosmos. This cosmic order reassures us that, just as God governs the universe with care and precision, He also oversees the details of our lives, guiding and providing for us with the same attentiveness and reliability. Genesis 1 verse 20 to 23. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. On the 5th day, God creates sea creatures and birds. The blessing to be fruitful and multiply emphasizes the continuation of life and the abundance of creation. Ellen G. White writes, The world was to be filled with living creatures of every kind, and the blessings of God were to be bestowed upon them. Education, page 23. What does this blessing to be fruitful and multiply tell us about God's intentions for creation? How does it reflect His desire for abundance and growth in our own lives? The blessing to be fruitful and multiply reveals God's intention for creation to thrive, flourish, and expand. It reflects His desire for life to be abundant and filled with purpose, growth, and vitality. In our own lives, this blessing shows that God wants us to experience spiritual, emotional, and relational growth, encouraging us to develop and bear fruit in every aspect of life. His desire for abundance extends beyond mere survival, inviting us into a life of fullness and flourishing. Genesis 1 verse 24 to 25. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. God creates land animals, cattle, beasts, and creeping things. Each creature is made according to its kind, reflecting the diversity and complexity of life on earth. Dr. C. Mervyn Maxwell comments, The vast diversity of creatures reflects the creative genius of God, showing that no detail is too small for His attention. The diversity of life, with its beauty, balance, and complexity, offers a profound glimpse into the creativity and care of God. It invites us to stand in awe of His handiwork, to appreciate the intricacies of the natural world, and to see His fingerprints in every living being. From the smallest insect to the vast ecosystems, life points to a Creator who is not only powerful and wise but also intimately involved in the care and flourishing of His creation. Genesis 1 verse 26 to 27. And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God created He him. Male and female created He them. The creation of humanity in God's image signifies the unique relationship between God and humans. We are entrusted with stewardship over creation, reflecting God's authority and care. Ellen G. White writes, The highest privilege of man is that he was made in the image of God. This distinction is a reminder of the divine intention for our role as caretakers of creation. The Adventist Home, page 20. What does it mean for us to be created in God's image? How does this understanding shape our responsibilities as stewards of the earth? Being created in God's image means humans reflect God's nature, such as rationality, morality, and creativity, giving us dignity and a unique role in creation. This understanding shapes our responsibility as stewards of the earth by calling us to care for creation, use resources wisely, and reflect God's character in protecting and preserving the environment for future generations. Genesis 1 verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. God's blessing to humanity includes procreation and stewardship. The command to subdue and have dominion reflects our responsibility to manage creation wisely and compassionately. Dr. Frank B. Holbrook writes, The divine mandate to replenish and subdue the earth is not a call to exploitation, but to responsible stewardship and care. How can we fulfill our role as caretakers of creation in a way that honors God's intentions? What practical steps can we take to manage resources wisely and protect the environment? We can honor God's intentions as caretakers of creation by reducing waste, conserving energy, supporting sustainable agriculture, protecting ecosystems, advocating for environmental policies, and educating others. These practical steps help us manage resources wisely and protect the environment, reflecting our role as responsible stewards of God's creation. Genesis 1 verse 29 to 30. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. God provides sustenance for humanity and animals through plants. This demonstrates His provision and care for all living beings, establishing a harmonious balance in creation. Dr. J. N. Andrews notes, the provision of plant-based sustenance reflects God's concern for the well-being of all creatures and the balance of the ecosystem. How does understanding God's provision for all creatures inspire us to live in harmony with creation? Can we appreciate the interconnectedness of all life and our role in maintaining this balance? Understanding God's provision for all creatures inspires us to live in harmony with creation by reminding us that all life is valuable and sustained by His care. Recognizing that God provides for every living thing, whether through food, shelter, or natural systems, helps us see the interconnectedness of all life. This understanding encourages us to appreciate our dependence on nature and motivates us to protect the balance that sustains both human and non-human life. As we recognize our role in maintaining this balance, we are inspired to act responsibly, caring for the environment, respecting ecosystems, and promoting sustainability. This mindset fosters a sense of unity with creation, urging us to live in a way that reflects God's care for all living beings. Genesis 1 verse 31. And God saw everything that He had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. God's declaration that creation was very good underscores the completeness and perfection of His work. The end of the sixth day marks the completion of creation, with everything in its intended place and order. Ellen G. White writes, the perfection of God's creation is a testament to His infinite wisdom and power. It reminds us that His plans for us are also good and complete. Education, page 16. God's declaration that creation is very good signifies that everything He made is purposeful and flawless. This assurance of His perfect work means we can trust that His plans for our lives are also good and filled with purpose, reflecting His care and wisdom in guiding us. In summary, Genesis 1 reveals God as the ultimate creator, whose work is both purposeful and perfect. Each verse provides insights into the nature of God's creation, His intentions for humanity, and His ongoing role as sustainer. As we reflect on this chapter, we are invited to recognize our place within His creation and to honor His work through our stewardship and reverence. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay informed about our latest content, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. This way, you'll be the first to know when new videos are posted. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to having you with us on the next one.